Good morning everyone, welcome to Again Craft. I've been doing a 5-minute introduction and I forgot to press the record button. So let's start this again, from the top. In this video I will show you how to make this ocean wave tray. In my previous video, the 5 mistakes no beginner tutorial tells you about, I showed you how to mess it up. In this video I will show you how to do it right, because many of you asked me in the forums and in the comments that they would prefer if I would show not just the wrong way to do it, but the right way to do it. So in this video I want to make a short, concise list of steps how to get this done. Okay, so join me on this adventure and let's see where it takes us. All right, step 1, prepare your surface. I bought this pre-made cutting board, and this pre-made cutting board has been oiled by the factory, so I have to get rid of the covering coat. Now the good thing about bamboo is not porous, so basically the oil didn't seep in too much. I just have to lightly sand the top to prepare it for resin. Get the sander. Jesus Christ, get a new disc on this. I mean, an 80 grit should do the trick. Let me just put it on. Yeet. Alright, and I'm just gonna lightly sand it now. That's it really. I'm not gonna sand the sides and the bottom because that is pointless, because I'm gonna sand it in the end anyway because I want to get rid of all the excess resin. So then step 2, you level it. So what I've done, I got some 2x4s, I covered them with sellotape and I put it under the board. Sellotape because then I can remove it, it's not gonna stick to the resin. Then I got a couple of popsicle sticks to try to level it out. I got my spirit level. I put my spirit level on the piece, and my spirit level tells me that the piece is center and the piece is level. Problem with this, the problem with the spirit level is that it can't tell you 100% right exactly how level it is, because it can only give you a ballpark. Okay, so when you level your thing out, and if you are not using a laser level, it's probably not going to be 100% level, but you have to be ready to adjust it as you go. So always have these popsicle sticks on hand that you can stick underneath. Okay, next, it's time to mix up some resin. So for that, use whatever resin you bought. Hopefully you have a faster setting resin, and mix it up to the ratio what's on the tin, really. And I use these cheap ass plastic cups. And one thing you have to know, you're gonna need way less resin than you think you will need. Okay, I always mess this up and I always have a lot of excess epoxy. So measure it, fill it, and then we go. One more thing about mixing epoxy. I tend to mix up all the resin I need in one go because it's just gonna save you some time. So first, mix up your resin, and then divide it up to the parts you need to color. Put your pigment in it, and then mix that in. As a step 3, I'm gonna mix your dye. Now, depending on the alcohol dye you're using, you can put as much as you want in it. Make sure that, so what you need to pay attention to is when you put your dye in this thing and you mix it together, it will look darker here than it will look on the board, because on the board it will spread out, so the alcohol ink will extend and it's gonna be less opaque. So make sure that in here it's a little bit darker than what you want on the board. Okay, so be mindful of that when you are coloring your stuff. That is very important. Okay, I put some colors in it. I'll go back to mixing and I'll cut here. Now, talk about a little bit about the whites. For the white, I got some clear already. First things first, you will add some denatured alcohol, or 95% alcohol. The stronger the alcohol, the better. You're gonna add it to the epoxy. Just a few drips. You have to thin it up a little. Really, just a few drips, because this will create the webbing. Webbing, yeah, it's called webbing. When you hit it with a heat gun on the piece, basically the heat gun will evaporate the alcohol from the epoxy, and the pigments of the epoxy will spread out to the rest of the epoxy where epoxy is. It's, what is it called, the reaction? It's when you siphon something up with vacuum. Oh shit, I'm so dumb. I will probably put it here. What's it called? So we're gonna get that reaction, and yeah, so that's what's gonna happen. So put alcohol in it. Now, about coloring, you can add different kind of dyes to it. I bought a bunch on Amazon. I bought what other YouTubers recommended, and I have not succeeded yet to find the perfect white. So I got this alcohol dye which stays in the middle. I got heavy alcohol dyes which goes down to the bottom. I got mica powder. I tried that. It looks weird. I got acrylic paste. That's kind of alright if you can mix it in well. I got pure pigment powder, and now the latest I got is white pigment paste for epoxy resin, and I haven't tested this one yet. So this is gonna be a first time. I know it should be a tutorial. I know I should be prepared with all that, but no. It's Egg in a Craft, and on Egg in a Craft we experiment with shit. We are not wasting our time. We are always trying something new. Now, based on the smell, okay, so this pigment paste it's denatured alcohol based. It's you know, it's the blue alcohol. It's the very smelly alcohol. So it's thinned up in alcohol. So the solvent is alcohol, which is good because this could create more net webbing. Okay, I'm gonna mix it up properly. By the way, don't smell the fumes like I do. I'm a maniac, and I'm not a mere mortal. I'm like an animal. So don't do what I do. Do as I say. Don't know how much should I put in there, so I'm just gonna wing it. You know, let's see how it is. Pretty good, pretty good. A bit more. That should be alright. I don't know how much to put in, guys. It's always up to you. Again, in the cup, it will look more opaque than it will look on the board. So what I usually do, I I tend to like pour it here to the side and then observe, oh sorry about that, and then observe the opaqueness of it, and I will see how it will look on the board. I'm sorry about this. I don't have professional equipment. So yeah, I'm just gonna properly mix this in. Okay, and I will put this aside to rest. This is my leftover resin. This is my clear. This is basically the same thing. This is my turquoise, and this is my blue. Next, which is, what is it, step 4. Now we will pour. First, I will pour the dark. Then next to it, I will pour the turquoise. And then I will pour a little bit of clear. And then we're gonna work with that. So here goes nothing. I'll try to keep away from the edge at the beginning and try to pour a good amount and see which way the epoxy flows. Okay, so this side is higher than this side. So I will take out the popsicle. You know. And now it's lower than that side. So what I need to do is lift up the board from here. Maybe that will help a little. Basically, if it's gonna be not level, it should be not level that way. You know, like you don't want the whole thing to flow back. Get it as level as possible though. All right. I think we are good. So next step, I will. So because we have surface tension on the board, it will not flow off easily. So we have to help it a little and nudge it to the edge, like so. And I blend it in like this. You know, everybody does it differently. You can use alcohol, you can spray it, you can, you know, do whatever. It's art. No one should tell you what to do. You just need to know the basic rules, how the things react and how the things work. Okay. So that's done. I will add some clear to it. Because this will basically create the shoreline. Shoreline. I think that's the word in English. Yep. There we go. You see, you don't need a lot. You basically just need it. I didn't even need this much. I needed like a fifth of it. Yeah, guys, you definitely don't need a lot. Look how much I have left. And this is almost already ready. I will get another piece because I want to have a darker shade on the edge, so I'm going to pour some of this blue into this one like this much, okay? And I will add some more blue dye, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to it, and I will pour some more on the edge. Mixing, 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 mixing. Okay, good. So clean up your workspace, because yeah, and I will pour some here. I just want to get it a little bit darker. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, let me show you how to what it does when you hit it with alcohol. I zoom in a little. Ta-da! There you go. All right. Okay. I'm gonna give this a half an hour. Not a half an hour. I'm gonna give this some time and we'll be back. And I am back. So it was basically 15 minutes, okay? The setting time for this thing is about 2 hours. And you can see this is the viscosity now. So it's a little bit thicker. Not too much though. It is time to pour, what is it, steps 5. Step 5. Time to pour the foam. 7 times out of 10, I fuck it up. So let's see how it's gonna go this time. I pour this next to the white, not into the white. And I poured way too much. Don't worry, if you pour way too much, you get your spatula and just scrape off what you don't need, okay? Let's see how it goes, because I don't know how this pigment works. So I'm gonna plug in my heat gun and blow it. When you're doing the heat gun, okay, when you're doing the heat gun, you're gonna do motions like this. How can I show it to you? So, like this, to push it, but don't overdo it. Okay, just push it until it gets here, and then gravity will do the rest. Okay. Wait for it to heat up properly. You can't put your hand in front of it, then it's good. And we are done. Now, a few more things. First of all, okay, let's see how this pigment works. Alright, so one thing we learned, I put too much pigment into this one and I didn't put enough alcohol in it. Anyway, this is the first time I tried it. This is how we get better, and I want to remove most of the foam from here. So what I do, I just go in like this and just push it off. Okay, because in the end we will clean this up with the sander, so don't worry about it too much, you know, just like that. There you go. Yeah, so this is the 5 steps. And now if you have ADHD or if you have OCD, you must leave the room, lock the door, give the key to someone else, and don't come in for the next 2 hours. Don't worry about the epoxy. Whatever will happen, okay? If you have a picture in your mind how you want to have it look, it won't look that way. And you have to accept the fact. If you push it for another half an hour and you mess with it, it's not gonna help. It's gonna just change it. Not gonna get worse, it's gonna get different, okay? But you're never gonna achieve the thing you have in your mind, because it doesn't work like that. And I learned this the hard way, because I'm super control freak. I have this problem where I have to oversee everything that happens around me to make sure that it happens to the image I have in my head. It's painful, and it's really hard to keep in control and not to hurt other people because of it. So yeah, just don't touch it. Don't touch it. Let it do its thing. And this is how we're looking in the end. So basically this corner was a little bit lower and it started to flow that way, but it stopped at the end. And this is it for the Ocean Wave tutorial. If you want to see how to finish a board, I recommend you to check out this video in the corner, because that is where I just put some wax on top of it. I really hope you got something out of this video, and see you in the next one. Bye.